welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host, Shivangi Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. World leaders gather for PM Modi's swearing-in ceremony. Pakistan's annual budget sets 3.6% growth but fails to impress Pakistanis. And balancing modernity and tradition in India's sacred Varanasi city. Let's begin the show. The swearing-in ceremony of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his third straight term was not just a momentous occasion for India, but it also showcased the nation's commitment to regional cooperation and global diplomacy. With dignitaries from neighbouring countries in attendance, the event emphasized India's prioritization of its relationships with these nations. As India's foreign policy takes center stage, guided by the principles of Bharat First and the world is one family, the world eagerly awaits to see how these principles will shape its future interactions.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा.
The swearing-in ceremony of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his third consecutive term was a momentous and historic event. The event was attended by a wide array of dignitaries, both domestic and international, reflecting the significance of the occasion. The presence of leaders from neighboring countries and the Indian Ocean region emphasized India's prioritization of its relationships with these nations. Prominent guests at the ceremony included Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Nepal's Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, Bhutan's Prime Minister Sering Tobge, and Mauritius Prime Minister Pravind Kumar Jagnauth. Additionally, the ceremony was graced by the participation of Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe, Seychelles Vice President Ahmad Afif, and Maldives President Mohammad Muizzu. This strong representation from neighboring countries and those with strategic ties to India underscores the depth of regional cooperation and India's commitment to fostering robust diplomatic relations throughout the Indian Ocean region.
I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge my duties as a Minister of the Union.
S. Jaishankar, who took charge of the external affairs portfolio for his second term, delivered a poignant message emphasizing a strong commitment to improving relationships with nearby countries.
Our neighboring relationships will be the first priority, will be the overriding priority of the Modi government, and that is as it should be.
India's recent foreign policy has been marked by active involvement, forming strategic alliances, and prioritizing efforts to enhance peace, stability, and economic growth at both regional and global levels. In his address, S. Jaishankar outlined the key principles that will guide India's foreign policy, emphasizing a commitment to advancing national interests while fostering cooperation, inclusivity, and global harmony.
Looking ahead, definitely I think the two axioms that the Prime Minister has given us, Bharat First and Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, these will be the two guiding axioms of the Indian foreign policy.
As India's foreign policy takes center stage, the world watches closely to see how these guiding principles will shape its interactions on the global stage. With a focus on Bharat First and Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, India's commitment to advancing its own interests while fostering global cooperation and unity is clear. The participation of leaders from neighboring countries at Prime Minister Modi's swearing-in ceremony signals a shared vision for regional stability and prosperity. As the nation embarks on this new chapter, the world anticipates the outcomes of India's proactive engagement and strategic alliances in shaping a more peaceful and prosperous future for all.
Moving on. Pakistan has officially unveiled its annual budget. setting an ambitious target for economic growth at 3.6% for this fiscal year. Despite these projections, the budget has been met with a wave of skepticism and criticism from the Pakistani public and economic experts alike. Take a look at the complexities of the budget and what it means for the country's economic future.
Pakistan unveiled its national budget for the fiscal year ending in June 2025 this week, aiming for 3.6% economic growth as it seeks a new bailout agreement from the International Monetary Fund. The country has set an ambitious tax revenue target of 13 trillion rupees for the year starting July 1, representing a nearly 40% increase from the current year to bolster its case for an IMF bailout. The revenue goals for the fiscal year through June 2025, outlined by Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb in the Parliament, align with analyst forecasts. Total spending is projected to be 18.87 trillion rupees. Aurangzeb stated that next year's growth target is 3.6%, with inflation expected at 12%. He emphasized that Pakistan aims to expand its tax base to prevent overburdening current taxpayers in achieving these targets.
माली साल 2024-25 के लिए इक्तिसादी तरक्की की शरह 3.6% रहने का इम्कान है। अफराते ज़र की औसत शरह 12% मुतवक्के है। बजट खसारा GDP का 5.9%, जबकि प्राइमरी सरप्लस GDP का 1% होगा। 2122 अरब रुपए दफाई ज़रूरियात के लिए फ़राहम किए जाएंगे और सिविल इंतज़ामिया के अखराजात के लिए 839 अरब रुपए मुख्तस किए जा रहे हैं। पेंशन के अखराजात के लिए 1014 अरब रुपए मुख्तस किए गए हैं। बिजली, गैस और दीगर शोबों की सब्सिडी के तौर पर 1363 अरब रुपए की रकम मुख्तस की जा रही है।
According to analysts, the tax burden has increased significantly in this year's budget. Because of the sizable informal economy, this increase will also have an inflationary effect. Critics argue that the budget fails to address the structural issues plaguing the economy, such as unemployment, poverty, and energy shortages.
बजट जिस तरह होता है कि लफ्ज़ों का गोरख धंधा होता है, तो मैं समझता हूँ कि मौजूदा बजट भी लफ्ज़ों का गोरख धंधा था। आज का बजट जो पेश किया गया वो बज़ाहिर अच्छा नज़र आ रहा है, बज़ाहिर समझ में नहीं आ रहा, लेकिन जब समझ में आएगा तो मेरे ख्याल से पानी सर से ऊंचा हो चुका होगा और महंगाई का एक तूफ़ान आ जाएगा जिससे आवाम के लिए मुश्किलात होंगी। और ये सब यूँ होगा कि जाहिर सी बात है आपका बजट मंजूर तो करती हुकूमत करती, लेकिन साथ आपको IMF की पॉलिसीज़ भी देखनी होती है, वर्ल्ड बैंक की पॉलिसीज़ भी देखनी होती है। अगर IMF और वर्ल्ड बैंक आपके कर्ज़ों पे उतार चढ़ाव कर दे, आप तो आवाम पर महंगाई का बोझ दर बोझ जो है मुसल्लत कर देंगे।
Residents in Pakistan are skeptical about the feasibility of these targets and expressed deep concerns about the repercussions of new taxes and austerity measures on their daily lives. The prevalent sentiment both on the streets and across social media platforms highlights a lack of confidence in the government's ability to address the economic challenges people have been enduring.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch. Iraq has embarked on a project to renovate Baghdad's Ottoman-era street in the hope of reviving its ancient glory and attracting new visitors. It includes the Kushla clock, started by Ottoman governor Mehmed Namik Pasha, and a 19th century landmark in the center of Old Baghdad. On the site of Al-Rusafa, a historically significant area considered as the foundation of numerous places and sites that date back to the Abbasid Caliphate.
The spokesman of the municipality of Baghdad, Muhammad Al-Rubai, said the project covers the historic center of Baghdad, a rectangular area of around 6 kilometers mile. The renovation focuses on the exteriors of buildings and their facades, including restoration from the effects of salt, moisture and leaks, engineering Muhammad Al-Sufi explained. The works aim to follow and recreate the historical sites according to the Islamic architectural style. A Samsung Electronics union staged its first walkout last week, signaling more assertiveness among workers just as South Korea's most powerful conglomerate races to catch up in chips used in artificial intelligence. The National Samsung Electronics Union (NSEU), whose roughly 28,000 members make up over a fifth of the firm's workforce, said it will stop work for a day to demand better pay. The walkout is unlikely to immediately impact semiconductor production or shipments, but will add pressure on Samsung Electronics as it chases AI and narrows a gap in contract chip manufacturing with Taiwan's TSMC. Known by his nickname Dr. Perfume, this UAE-based scent expert says he can recreate any smell his customers desire. Yusuf Bhai, who is originally from India, was inspired to get into the perfume business by his father's love for fragrances. He says certain scents evoke many happy memories associated with his family, and this scent-inspired nostalgia is something he hopes to evoke for his customers. Bhai says his dream is to expand his business and sell his fragrances in stores all over the world. Dragon Boat Festival was celebrated across the globe with thrilling dragon boat races and colorful cultural activities. The Dragon Boat Festival, or Duanu Festival, is celebrated on the 5th day of the 5th month of the Chinese lunar calendar and honors the ancient Chinese poet Qu Yuan of the Warring States period. In Manchester, in the United Kingdom, the vibrant sounds of cheers and rhythmic drum beats filled the air at Salford Quays as paddlers battled it out on the water in a highly competitive boat race. The event attracted more than 80 teams from across northern England, including Liverpool, Leeds and Sheffield. The atmosphere was electric as teams battled it out, their paddles slicing through the water with precision and power. The event drew many local residents who enjoy traditional Chinese culture. In Duisburg in Germany, over 3,000 athletes from 140 teams competed in a colorful dragon boat race where spectators enjoyed a festive, family-friendly event.
The concerns over mismanagement of projects in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir are reaching a boiling point. Zahid Amin Kashif, the former chairman of the Prime Minister's Inspection and Import Commission, has sounded the alarm over what he describes as the failure of the current administration to deliver on its promises. Let's delve deeper into the issues highlighted by Kashif. We have this report.
The mismanagement of projects in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir has become a pressing concern, raising questions about governance, transparency and accountability within the region. Numerous instances of inefficiency, delays and allegations of corruption have marred the execution of vital infrastructure initiatives, leaving POJK's residents frustrated and disillusioned. One of the glaring issues plaguing POJK is the failure to deliver on promised mega projects. Despite assurances from the administration, the past financial year saw a conspicuous absence of profitable ventures. Even smaller scale projects with budgets as modest as 2 crore failed to materialize, reflecting a systematic breakdown in project planning and execution. Zahid Amin Kashif, the former chairman of the Prime Minister's Inspection and Import Commission of POJK, recently raised his voice against the wrongdoings of the current administration in the region.
इस एक तरक्याती साल में जिसमें वज़ीर आज़म चौधरी अनवारुल हक साहिब रहे हैं और हैं, एक नया मेगा प्रोजेक्ट भी मुजफ्फराबाद को, जिसे आप दारुल हुकूमत आज़ाद कश्मीर का कहते हैं और कैपिटल सिटी कहते हैं, और ये एक हल्का भी है, पूरी एक इंतखाबी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी भी है, एक तरक्याती मेगा प्रोजेक्ट, बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट 6 करोड़ 2 करोड़ से ऊपर का एक भी नहीं मिल सका। 30 करोड़ 40 करोड़ की तो बात की बात है। न सिर्फ ये हुआ बल्कि जो जारिया प्रोजेक्ट्स थे जितने भी थे उन्हें इन्होंने तरीके से स्विच उनका ऑफ कर दिया।
In his scathing critique, Kasif lays bare the stark reality of administrative failures in POJK, revealing a litany of broken promises and systematic deficiencies.
4 चौक थे मुजफ्फराबाद के, एक चौक पे अभी काम थोड़ा थोड़ा आहिस्ता जारी है और 3 चौकों को इन्होंने ऑफ कर दिया। अंदाज़ा कीजिए बाशिंदगान मुजफ्फराबाद, एक आरसीसी पुल मंजूर शुदा है जिसे चेला आरसीसी ब्रिज कहते हैं, 156 मीटर जिसकी लेंथ है। माहिरीन के मुताबिक मौजूदा चेला ब्रिज की मुद्दत पूरी हो चुकी है, खतरनाक हालत में।
As the echoes of Zahid Amin Kashif's revelations reverberate across Muzaffarabad, it's clear that the concerns over administrative failures in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir have reached a critical juncture. The allegations of mismanagement, corruption and neglect have struck a chord with residents who are growing increasingly disillusioned with the current state of affairs. Kasif's stark assessment sheds light on the systematic breakdown in governance, transparency and accountability within POJK. The failure to deliver on promised mega projects, the abandonment of crucial infrastructure initiatives and the absence of key officials during vital planning phases paint a grim picture of an administration in disarray.
India, a land steeped in history and spirituality, embodies a rich tapestry of cultures, traditions and ancient wisdom. At the heart of India's spiritual essence lies Varanasi. This ancient city stands as a testament to India's deep-rooted spirituality and cultural legacy. Varanasi's ghats, temples and intricate alleys are not just symbols of the city, they are portals to India's timeless legacy, inviting visitors to immerse themselves in a journey through history, spirituality and cultural richness. Come, let's explore Varanasi.
Varanasi, known as Kashi or Banaras, stands as a timeless testament to human history. At its heart flows the Ganga, worshipped as more than a river, a living goddess of spiritual purity. The ghats of Varanasi, where life converges and rituals intertwine, echo with the symphony of dawn, bells and chants rising to the divine. Devotees seek solace in the sacred waters, drawn by the allure of transcendence. The lanes of Varanasi are a living museum where ancient architecture, vibrant markets and the essence of daily life intertwine beautifully. These narrow lanes also lead to hidden gems like the Kashi Vishwanath temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. The temple stands as a symbol of Varanasi's spiritual heritage and attracts devotees from far and wide. Just a few miles from Varanasi, near the confluence of the Ganga and Varuna rivers, is located Sarnath, one of the holiest Buddhist sites in the world. It's the famous place where Gautam Buddha delivered his first sermon.
Varanasi has a long recorded history of more than 2000 years. So probably the most remarkable would be visit of Gautam Buddha near Sarnath, and from there most of the Buddhist monks and also the monks coming from the other sects, they must be having a dialogue around 6th century BC or so, and in the subsequent ages. Then also we have got the rulers who were very famous for their military achievements, conquests, and they always wanted this region of Gangetic Plain under their control. So various dynasties also have their rules here.
Varanasi's ancient streets whisper tales of timeless homes where history resides in every brick, weaving a tapestry of heritage. We visited the ancestral home of the Ratnakar family near Shivala Ghat, a testament to Varanasi's architectural legacy. Passed down for approximately 250 years, this house embodies traditional Varanasi architecture. With wooden facades adorned with lattice work, small courtyards, and iconic jharokas, it preserves the essence of a bygone era.
So, my family is quite old in Varanasi. I am the 8th generation living in this house in Varanasi. Quite famously, I belong to the family of Kavi Jagannath Das Ratnakar ji. He was a renowned poet of his time. His grandfather was the one who settled in Varanasi. We have this Bunnasi Gate entrance. That was a Desi form of engineering which we came up with, which I think many people in Varanasi have come up with. This is for enabling the entrance when the family is living on the first floor. There is an angan in every house. That is the place where all the ventilation and sunlight is circulated throughout the house through the angans. All these jharokas. So these jharokas were for the ladies to join a function happening in this house. Initially, or back in those days, there were this parda system where the women were not supposed to join the function in the house on the floor. So they could see the function or they could be a part of this function from upstairs.
Varanasi's heritage transcends borders, drawing visitors worldwide to uncover its mysteries, absorb its wisdom, and bask in its enduring charm. Its inclusivity, diversity, and hospitality create a welcoming environment for cultural exchange and spiritual exploration. Here, every step echoes with history, spirituality, and cultural richness, where the past merges with the present and heritage legacy unfolds through the ages.
I'm here in Varanasi for the spiritual part of India. I know this is a very spiritual place, and I can see the devotion of the people everywhere. We see lingam, right? It's a very spiritual place. And you can see everything in this place, right? It's different. It's different from anywhere in the world. And it's the most, how can I say, it's the ancient city, the most ancient city in the world.
Varanasi holds immense significance as a pilgrimage site, drawing devotees worldwide to its sacred shores. Many seek purification in the holy Ganga, aiming to cleanse sins and attain salvation. Each evening, crowds converge at the Shashwamedh Ghat for the revered Ganga Aarti, joining in prayer and connecting with the river's spiritual essence.
Now it's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.